Hello friends, welcome to my channel Life in Australia for You, and this is the part 3 of my series of videos for Australian citizenship test. So let's start. In this part we'll discuss the part 3 of our common bond document, which is government and law. So I'll discuss some points about the voting which you should know about for the test. So voting is compulsory in elections and referendum. Australian Electoral Commission, that's the agency which is responsible for conducting the elections. Voting in an election is by secret ballot. If you don't vote in an election and do not have a good reason for not voting, so you may have to pay a fine. Our system of government, so actually on 1st Jan 1901, there were separate states and they were united into a federation of states called Commonwealth of Australia. Australian Constitution Act 1900, that is the legal document that sets out the basic rules for the government of Australia. Australian Constitution was originally passed as a part of British Act of Parliament in 1900, and Australian Constitution established Parliament consisting of House of Representatives and Senate. So Constitution also established the High Court of Australia, which has the ultimate power to apply and interpret the laws of Australia. And Constitution can be changed by voting in the referendum, but there needs to be a double majority. There are certain types of power. So first is the legislative power, and which is the power to make laws. Parliament has the power to make and change laws, and actually the Parliament is made by the representatives elected by the people. Second type of law is executive power. It is the power to put laws into practice. Executive includes Prime Minister, Australian Government Minister, and the Governor General. So, and the ministers are responsible for the government departments. Another type of power is judicial power. Judges have the power to interpret and apply the law. Courts and judges are independent of the Parliament and the government. The head of the state of Australia is Queen of Australia, Her Majesty Elizabeth II. Queen appoints the Governor General as her representative in Australia. In each of the states, there is a governor who represents the Queen in a role that is similar to the Governor General. Constitution monarchy have the points as Queen is the Australia's head of state, has to act in accordance with the Constitution. Powers are delegated to the Governor General in Australia, and the leader of Australian government is the Prime Minister. Role of Governor General. So Governor General roles include signing all bills passed by the Australian Parliament into law. This is called the Royal Assent. Performs ceremonial duties, approving the appointment of the Australian government and its ministers, federal judges and other officials, stating the process for a federal election, acting as a Commander-in-Chief of the Australian Defence Force. The Governor General also has the special powers, which are known as the reserve powers, that can be used in specific circumstances. So in Australia we have, you can see the leadership types. So we have the leader as the head of state, which is the Queen of Australia, Governor General, representative of the head of a state in Australia, Governor, representative of head of a state in each Australian state, Prime Minister, leader of Australian government, Premier, leader of a state government, Chief Minister, leader of a territory government, government minister, member of a parliament chosen by the government leader to be responsible for an area of a government. Member of Parliament is an elected representative of the people in the Australian Parliament. Senator is an elected representative of a state or territory in the Australian Parliament. Mayor or Shire President is the leader of a local government, and the councillor is an elected member of a local council. So Australian government, it is also called the federal government or the Commonwealth government. It is made up of Australian Parliament, which has two houses, the House of Representatives and the Senate. So House of Representatives, it is also called the lower house or the People's House. Australia is divided into federal electorates. Member of Parliament represent people in their electorate, and number of MPs for each state and territory is based on the number of people in that state or territory. 150 members are elected to the House of Representatives. Role of House of Representatives is to consider, debate and vote on proposals for new laws or changes to the law. And then we have Senate, which is also called the upper house, the House of Review or the State's House. Voters from each state elect senators to represent them in the Senate. All states are equally represented in the Senate, regardless of their size or population. Each state elects 12 senators, and ACT and NT states elect 2 senators each. Senators also consider, debate and vote on new laws or changes to the law. Then we have a state and territory government. There are 6 states and 2 mainland territories, as we previously discussed. Each state government has its own parliament and constitution. In each state, governor represents the Queen of Australia. In NT, administrator is appointed by the Governor General. States have the rights recognized by the Constitution, while territories do not. States have the power to pass laws in their own right, while self-governing territory laws can be altered or revoked by Australian government at any time. States and NT are divided into local government areas, which may be called cities, shires, towns or municipalities. Each area has its own local council. You can see we have federal government responsibilities. We have taxation, national economic management, immigration, citizenship, employment assistant, postal services, social security, defense, trade and commerce, airports and air safety, and foreign affairs. Also, state government is also responsible for hospital and health services, schools, roads and railways, forestry, police and ambulance service, and public transport. And here you can see what are the local government responsibilities. They're responsible for street signs, traffic controls, local roads, footpaths, bridges, drains, parks, playgrounds, camping grounds, food and meat inspection, noise and animal control, rubbish collection, local libraries, halls, certain child care and aged care issues, building permits, social planning, and local environmental issues. So how laws are made? If a member of the Australian Parliament proposes to introduce a new law or change an existing one, this proposal is called a bill. The House of Representatives and the Senate consider, debate and vote on whether they agree with the bill. If the majority of members in each House of Parliament agree to the bill, it goes to the Governor General. The Governor General signs a bill so that it becomes a law. This is called royal assent. So how laws are enforced? So there are certain ways. So there we have courts. Courts are independent and they decide the penalty of not obeying the law. Judges and magistrates are there. They are the highest authority in the court. They are independent and appointed by the government. They are juries to decide in court if a person is innocent or guilty. And jury could be selected by the group of ordinary citizens. And they have to perform a jury duty. And then there are police, which maintain the peace and order. States and Northern Territory have their own police forces. National Police Force is called Australian Federal Police, AFP. So we'll go to the practice test questions. So voting is mandatory in elections and the referendum. Either it's true or false. It's true. Yeah, it is definitely mandatory. Question 2. When were separate states united into a federation of states called Commonwealth of Australia? So the answer is 1st Jan 1901. Question 3. Australian Constitution established Parliament consisting of House of Representatives and a Senate. So the answer is House of Representatives and Senate. Question 4 says, which has the ultimate power to apply and interpret laws of Australia? And the answer is High Court of Australia. Question 5, which of the following is true about Constitution of Australia? So the answer is C, by voting in the referendum with double majority. So question 6, there are types of power and power description. Types of power: legislative, executive, judicial, and then there are some power descriptions, so you have to match them to the correct order. So the next page shows the correct order, which is legislative. The power description is power to make laws. Executive, put laws into practice. Judicial, interpret and apply the law. Legislative, parliament to make and change the laws. Executive, prime minister, Australian government minister and governor general, and judicial, judges. Question 7 states Queen's powers are delegated to. Answer is B, Governor General of Australia. Question 8 gives the different leaders and their descriptions, and you have to match them to the correct order. So we have head of state, Governor General, Governor, Prime Minister, Premier, Chief Minister, and so on. And based on the description column, you have to match to the correct description. So the next page shows the correct answer. Correct order is head of state is Queen of Australia, Governor General, representative of the head of state in Australia. Governor is representative of head of state in each Australian state. Prime Minister is the leader of Australian government. Premier is the leader of a state government. Chief Minister, leader of a territory government, and Government Minister, member of Parliament chosen by a government leader to be responsible in an area of government. Member of Parliament is the elected representative of the people in Australian Parliament. Senator is the elected representative of state or territory. Mayor is the leader of a local government, and councillor is the elected member of a local council. And that's it for this part. So see you in my next video for the part 4, where we'll discuss further citizenship topics and questions and answers. Till next time, take care. Bye.